Hey everyone, and welcome to today's session where we're talking about all about online reputation and really how to go from good to great when it comes to your HVAC company's online reputation. So, as we're diving in, let's see here. As we're diving in, let's first take a peek. So, of course, today's session is all about online reputation, but that really is just one component part to a successful HVAC company's overall online marketing picture. So it fits in nicely with an optimized conversion focused website, SEO, a paid ads play, social media, customer reactivation, all that good stuff. And we're going to discuss today how reputation really can be the tide that rises all boats when it comes to your other online marketing efforts. So I just always like to touch on that, and because we go deep in each of these sessions about all different aspects, and it's important to know kind of how they all fit in. But today we will be super focused on online reputation. So as we're diving in here, as always, I just ask that if you're here and serious about taking your company's online reputation to the next level, maybe learning some things that you can implement today, let's just do the classic kind of housekeeping items. If you would turn off your phones, log out of Facebook, unless you're maybe watching on Facebook, that you get a pass. But like I said, I just ask, we're going to zero in, I've cleared out the next 45 to 60 minutes to share a lot of really cool stuff with you guys that I think you can run with on your own. So let's just zero in. And I really think that this could be a game changer. So with that, let's jump into today's agenda and what we really plan to unpack. So today we're going to cover why you can have all the best tools in the world for generating reviews, but still just not be consistent at driving those 5-star reviews. We're going to tap into the power of multi-channel communication and really think about many different channels when it comes to those review asks and ultimately increasing your review count. This is a big one. I'm excited for this piece. So just the discussion around the fact that online reviews are really a team sport when it comes to your company and your technicians, and really how I see the ball that gets dropped most often is really, we've got the tools, but it's not embedded in a culture in a way that really results in success. So we're going to dive into that, and then why you must acknowledge and respond to all of your reviews, good, bad, and different. I'll share some tips around kind of all of those. And then lastly, how to have all this taken care of you completely turnkey so that you can focus on your business and let your reputation just speak for itself. And this is a point where I always just like to throw in the little caveat that, yes, of course, we are a full service marketing agency. We do all these services for our clients, and we're happy to help in any way, but that's really not the purpose of today's session. Today's session is really all about just sharing some of our experience, best practices in a way that you can really take and turn into action within your own HVAC companies. So that is really the key for today. And see if my slide's frozen. Okay, there we go. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Alex Van Loon, and I'm the founder of HVAC Marketers. And most importantly, I've had the privilege of working with some of the top HVAC companies across the nation, right, to really get their online marketing dialed in, maximize profitability through the internet. And what you should know is that's just all I think about. That's all we think about, HVAC and getting it right online. So that's really where we're coming from. And so what I'm going to share with you today really is a factor of that experience. So let's without any further ado jump into really the core of today's session. So let's just begin with why, right? So let's just talk about why is this important? Why should you set aside 45 minutes or so to sit in on this webinar and really learn about improving your online reputation? Well, to me, it's really important because online reviews and reputation is really a make or break item for your HVAC company. So if we have lots of good, really positive reviews, it makes us more profitable overall. As I mentioned, review is really the tide the tide that raises all boats, if you will. If the online reputation piece is done right, then all that you're investing time, money, and energy into your other marketing efforts, be that digital, be that traditional, print, media, whatever. At the end of the day, we're gonna uncover today that really your potential customers are going online and tire kicking your reputation. So if it's really done right, you will reap the benefits and all of your other marketing efforts. And the inverse is also true to that. If your reputation online is subpar, or even if it's neutral, it's really something that can really take a dent into your other marketing efforts. Really minimize profitability when it comes to acquiring new customers. So really it's a make or break item, and that's why we're going to spend so much time on it today. Another big problem is that, as you know, sometimes online reputation doesn't match the level of customer service that you're providing within your HVAC company. So oftentimes I see it where HVAC companies really are providing world-class service to their customers within their service area, but that's not showing online. So when new potential customers are online and they're reading reviews on Google, Yelp, wherever they may be, they're not really seeing what you and your customers know to be true, is that you offer world-class service. So there are some purposeful steps that we need to take in order to really reflect the reality of the service that you provide and the happiness of your customers, to get that to show up online so that your prospective customers really know that as well. So one of the other big reasons this is a challenge is because many of us, as I mentioned, have some of the really best online reputation tools. So you're investing in Bird Eye, PulseSim, Podium, kind of all of those different tools, but the reviews just aren't coming in. And we're going to talk about how tools, yes, they are important, but it's really all about taking the next steps after the tool to get the most out of those. And that's what we're going to go more into throughout this session. So really, if we can solve for this, our online reputation can really pull everything, as I mentioned, up the tide that rises all boats. So that's really why it's so important. I don't want to hammer too much on this, and let's just get into really talking about the opportunity here. So there's a really great opportunity, because if we're able to solve for improving our online reputation, again, more profitability, your marketing dollars go further in other areas, your customer retention and lifetime value of customers goes up, so on and so forth. It's just a really powerful tool. And really, no matter where you are with your online reputation, if you haven't given it any thought and you're less than 30 reviews, if you have over 1,000 reviews, I think there'll be something from today that you can really take away, and as we say in the title of this presentation, really go from good to great. So that's really the idea, and thus really becoming the go-to provider within your service area and stand out from the competition. So let's see. Let's skip through here just a bit, just keeping an eye on the clock. So do online reviews matter? So this is like beating a dead horse. You wouldn't be sitting on this webinar or watching the replay if you didn't think that online reviews matter. But that said, I still want to share a couple of important stats that I think drive home. We all know that they matter, but why they matter, how they matter. So we're seeing that 84% of people trust an online review as much as they do a personal recommendation, which is pretty powerful. Every year, this becomes more and more true, where I mean, people are just trusting, those Google reviews as much as they would a family or friend, family member or friend recommending a business. Also, 77% of customers think that reviews more than 3 months old aren't relevant. So should be a bit of a reality check, I think, for a lot of us, that it's not only the quantity of reviews, it's not only your average rating for reviews, but it's the consistency and how old are your reviews also plays a huge part there. So and I think that this is true because if you look at small businesses and look at their reviews online, I mean, if it's been 5, 6, 7, 8 months since the last reviews on there, I mean, the user is going to be thinking, or could be thinking, maybe they sold the business, maybe some of the key players there left, and the business isn't now what it looked like it was as I'm looking at these reviews. So the frequency and cadence of reviews is really crucial. So let's dive a little bit into why online reviews are important. And I want to walk you through kind of the customers or prospective customers' journey a bit. So let me go over here and we'll go into screen sharing mode. Let me just make sure that this is going to work. Okay. So let's head over to Google, and I'm going to give you just a real example. So we're going to search air conditioning servicing, and just to make sure that the geography is plugged in, we'll type in Mandeville, Louisiana. So this is basically like the greater New Orleans area. So right now we have a classic Google search page. So at the very top, we've got the Google local services ads. You all definitely should be playing this game, as I mention all the time. We've got your pay-per-click results here. And then what we always talk about, we just did a webinar on this. Feel free to watch the replay on Google Map Pack listings. So this is really a place where you want to be, and this is where we're able to see reviews. So we'll see here that the top result is actually one of our clients, so Burner Air Conditioning Heating. So congrats, Tom and team. It's great. You definitely want to be there at the top. And I'm showing you this because you can see actually the reviews that are in place. And I think this is where this is how most people are thinking about these reviews, right? So you're looking at 216 reviews and a 4.8 star. And then as we compare to some of the other competitors in the service area, we're just basically comparing review count and the review average. But I'm going to tell you that that's not where it stops when it comes to customers really looking into you. So let's click into this profile. And as we do this, you'll be able to see that we'll be able to see some more details around those reviews. Okay. So of course, this is not just a webinar on Google business profiles and all that, but we see that there's photos and the profile is up to date. But here's where I really want to dive in. So we're looking at the reviews here, and let's just imagine that I'm a prospective customer, and I'm going to go through here and click more Google reviews. I want to see what these guys have going on. So when I scroll down here and search by newest, let's just see. Okay, so literally 20 minutes ago, this is flagged as a new review. Kim, great job, professional and informative. So that's pretty pertinent, right? 20 minutes ago, that review was left. If we keep scrolling down, 4 days ago, there's a 5-star review from Hazel, and just really a descriptive one too. The staff and technicians of Burner, professional and friendly. Their AC and HVAC products and systems are top quality brands, so on and so forth. I mean, really, it's just taking a lot of time to go in and leave a really in-depth review. We'll just go. We're not going to go through every single one of these, but just to give you an idea, 5 days ago, there's a 5-star review. A week ago, 5-star. A week ago, 5-star. A week ago, 5-star. so you're getting the point. It's really the cadence that's also very important of these Google reviews. And another thing that I want you to notice is that the owner is going in here and actually commenting on all of these reviews, right? So as they're coming in, the customer is getting notified that, hey, the business actually went in and responded to my review. And that's really important because we'll get in a little bit more into that later in the presentation on the importance of replying to reviews. But so you get the picture here. So a lot of really frequent 5-star reviews. And let's just go back and just to draw a comparison, as we look here in the results, we see there's a company that has 50 or 61 reviews, and then this one here will be a good kind of case study, kind of prove the point here. So as we compare burner with professional heating and air, you'll see the review average is similar, 4.8 versus 4.9. Professional is actually a touch higher, and the review count very similar. But let's click into here, into professional, and we'll do that same kind of test. So they've got their pictures. This all looks good. More reviews. And then we'll go to newest, just because, hey, I want to see what's going on there as of late. So we see here a month ago, a really nice review, very personal. It's getting responded to. It's all good stuff. A month ago, 1-star review, and not disparaging any. I mean, everyone's going to get 1-star reviews. It's not really a huge deal, but really, I'm not talking so much about the review itself, but more that cadence, as I mentioned. So a month ago, 7 months ago, 8 months ago. So on the face of it, if you were to compare these two companies, you would say, well, their review count and the review average are both similar, but one of them, we're seeing really frequent reviews. One that we showed that was literally left right at the start of this webinar. So that really just shows the importance of that cadence and that stat that I showed earlier, where such a high percent of potential customers disregard reviews that are more than 3 months old. It really shows just that cadence and how it is important. So hopefully that helps with just getting a little sense of how the consumers are actually looking at your online reviews. And let's get this back up and going. So, with that example now shown, I'd like to share a couple of more stats just to really drive home that point. So consumers read on average 10 online reviews before feeling able to trust a local business. So again, if we compare those companies, and we're looking at the 10 most recent reviews, there is one that there's really recent current reviews and one where there's not. So keep that in mind as you're imagining your potential customers before they're contacting you, reading 10 online reviews. And by the way, this is not to disparage or any other competitor. I go back to my point at the beginning. I'm a believer that I think the HVAC industry as a whole really prides themselves on providing excellent customer service. And I think even the company that I'm drawing on as an example, I'm sure they do the same. But it's all about getting that to reflect online. And if no matter what business it is, if you're not taking the right steps that we're discussing here today to get your reputation up online and really showcase what is the reality on the ground, then you don't get credit for it. So with that, let's look at one more stat. 57% of consumers will only use a business if it has 4 or more stars on local reviews. So that's one I think we pretty well all feel and know. I mean, just anecdotally in our own kind of search behavior. I know me, I just moved to a new location or to a new house and Caroline and I were going to try some new food, and so we go to Google and type in Mexican restaurant or whatever it was, and we're not even considering any that are below 4 stars, and I would imagine that you're doing the same thing. So that's very critical. And to that point, yes, Google reviews are mission critical. They really are that big of a deal. I think it doesn't take a ton of effort to get them right, but it just takes a lot of intentionality. You just have to have a plan, and that's what we're discussing today. So they're mission critical because they impact your Google rankings. 88% of consumers are looking at online reviews, and lastly, it's a major conversion factor. So again, when you think of marketing, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is get people to be aware of your business and raise their hand that they're interested in doing business with you. Now, if your online reputation is average to subpar, less of those people are going to actually end up doing business with you. Compare that to you having a world-class reputation with multiple reviews every week, close to a 5-star review. More of those people that you kind of catch in your net, so to speak, through marketing dollars, are going to end up doing business with you, which increases your profitability. So I'll end now, but it's easy to harp on how just important that the online reputation is. So let's take a second, and I want this to be a session for everyone here live and watching the replay. I'm going to take a moment and let's not let this be another webinar where you just we sit through it and we get some good ideas and things that make sense, but then no action really comes afterwards and we don't implement anything. So I'm gonna stop at a couple of places and really challenge you to write down, physically write down on your notepad or Post-its on your phone, kind of really the why, and try to put action into place. So just ask yourself, why is managing your online reviews critical to you? Why in your business, in your service area? Ask yourself that and jot it down. And with that, we'll go into really the 5 key principles that come into play when you're going from good to great with your online reputation. So number 1 is a big one, and it's one that you all should be experts at, and that would be provide a world-class customer experience. Guys, at the end of the day, we can't create a reputation online that doesn't exist in reality. So I know that each of you take a lot of pride in offering a world-class customer experience, and just know that that's truly the root of this whole topic. So really, you need to be knocking it out of the park for your customers in order for them to for any of these other steps to really work. So with that, and it's an important one to mention, so I wanted to start with that one. But number 2, build online reviews and reputation management into your company culture. So when it comes to online reputation, I find that the companies that really knock it out of the park, those are the companies that are really from the top down emphasizing reviews. So that means you as the owner, you as the manager, really emphasizing the importance to your team of the importance of getting reviews, and that they're used for assessment and understanding what's going on out in the field. And that dovetails nicely into point number 3, where we can get a little more granular, which is what you measure, inspect, and celebrate, you create more of. This is just something I believe so firmly, and if you pick up any business leadership book, this is plastered all over it, right? This is just confirmed behavioral science, if you will. And just to give a really simple example about, let's just start with what you measure improves, right? So think about in your life, if it comes to, you're wanting to live a healthier lifestyle. If you were to just begin counting your calorie intake and writing down in a journal all that you eat and drink in a day and just tracked it, I can guarantee you that your behavior would improve, right? You would eat, smaller portions because you'd be tracking your caloric intake and, make better decisions about, maybe I'll pass on the Coca-Cola and I'll drink a water instead. Same is true with personal finances, for example. If you're looking to get more control of your personal finances and you simply put a budget in place where you're tracking where every dollar is spent, you're so much more likely to see results in that space. I would even argue, just again, the art of measuring it will produce those results. Well, the same is true when it comes to your online reputation and driving more reviews. So if you're not already doing this, really putting tracking into place, that way you're measuring, month in and month out, how many reviews are coming in. And not only that, but what techs are creating these reviews. And that really goes into the next point around celebrating. What you celebrate, you get more of. It's another core belief I have, and know that your technicians want to be recognized in front of their peers. So when it comes to really creating a culture around reputation and asking for reviews, if you're celebrating your techs that are leading the pack with getting the most reviews and acknowledging them in front of the team, maybe doing, a lot of teams are very competitive and doing, some monetary prizes, or, every company culture is different, right? So figure out what works best for your company. But at the end of the day, it all boils up to celebrating to create more of that result that you want. And that's really how you can begin to create this as part of your company's culture. When your techs are going out into the field and they have in the back of their mind that desire to get the review because they want to get recognized, they want to be the winner, it's competitive, I can guarantee you that you'll see better results in this space. So that's really a critical one there, is implementing it into your culture. Number 4, leveraging the best-in-class tools. Leveraging the best-in-class tools and specifically using a multi-channel approach. The multi-channel approach is really important. So just to take a step back, let's think about how we've been able to communicate with our customers over the last several decades. So originally, really the only tools at our disposal were picking up the phone and calling, or being there in person, your physical presence. Like, that's how you communicate. And then email becomes more prolific, and people are responding to emails, and it's a really great tool to communicate with customers. In today's day and age, email, there's still a play for email, but it's not what it used to be. There's a lot of new challenges that email is facing, and we're seeing lower deliverability. So a lot of email going to spam, not landing in your customers' inboxes. And this is all as it relates to sending out those review requests. So we're just seeing across the board email having a lower response rate. And I always try to tie things back to, away from business, but just into like our own everyday lives. And I just know in my own email, like I've got one of these big monitors, and I've got my email over here. I've got over 19,000 emails that are unread across multiple email accounts. But I would wager to guess that I'm not the only one that's like that. I mean, email just doesn't get tended to as much as, say, SMS text message, which we'll discuss in a minute. If you were to compare right now how many unread emails you have compared to how many unread text messages, at least when I look at my own phone, I really tend to my text messages a lot closer than I do my email. And that's where the multi-channel approach is really critical when it comes to asking for these reviews. So let me just draw an ideal scenario for you, right? And this would be an ideal scenario for getting one of your customers to leave a review. So let's say your technician's wrapping up, and at the end of the job, he's saying, "It was a pleasure to serve you today. Glad that we could get whatever was fixed. By the way, here is a card that gives all the information you need to leave us a review. We're graded and assessed on these reviews. We take them really seriously. So if you were happy with everything today, it'd be really appreciated if you left a review. And by the way, if you can mention me by name, that would really help me out." So let's just break that down for a second. Your technician just asked in person for the review with the card. They made it personal, saying mention, if you can mention me by name, that really helps push that customer over the edge to really create the review. Like they have, it's the rule of reciprocity, right? Like they got good service and they know that the tech's going to be assessed on it. So, okay, I'll leave Sam a review and mention it by name. The other thing your tech should be doing in this ideal scenario is mentioning, hey, you're going to be receiving an email and a text that also has the link for you to leave us a review, and planting the seed ahead of time that that's coming. That way, your customer, as they receive these communications, they've already been prompted that it's coming. Can you see how that would be really an ideal scenario for getting more reviews, as opposed to having a really great tool for sending out the requests and just sending them out via email, let's say, and once a month going in, adding the right contacts in, sending out that email. Which of those two scenarios do you think is going to get more response when it comes to getting more reviews? Well, it's certainly going to be the one where the tech is prompting the customer, and obviously that only comes as it's become part of the company culture to do that. So I'm kind of tying a lot of points together with this fourth one, but multi-channel really is key. We can't rely on email like we did one day. So that's really the fourth principle. And we'll jump now into the fifth principle, which is acknowledge and respond to every review. This one can be easily overlooked, and I think it's because sometimes the folks that are going to reply to these reviews, be that the owner, manager, someone in the office, maybe they don't have the notification set up so they're not being alerted when a review comes in. But what I'm seeing, if that's in place, then the business is at least responding to every negative review, right? Like that's kind of the fire that arises. And guys, it happens. I mean, every HVAC business out there is getting 1-star reviews occasionally. They're typically not customers, or they didn't like the way that the person answered the phone at the office, or they didn't like that they were being charged a travel fee, or who knows what it is. But people are going in and will leave negative reviews, and you really want to make sure that you're not only just replying to those, but those need attention. We'll talk a couple more slides. Really a power play when it comes to negative reviews, and how you can turn that into a positive really simply. But for now, let's think about prioritizing responding to all of the great 5-star reviews. And I come at this from a customer retention play, like a lifetime value of your customer play. So think about this. I'm your customer and your technician, very kind. I'm happy with the service. Your technician gave me the card and asked if I'd leave a review. And so I'm going to leave a review, and I go on to Google, and I get the text message. I click the link. I leave the review. Awesome. Now, a day later, I get a notification on my phone. I get an email that says, hey, the owner of Acme HVAC responded to your review. And you as the owner or manager are going in, replying to the review and just saying, hey, Susie, thanks so much for taking the moment to leave a kind review. We're glad that we could get your whatever it is, your heat pump repaired, look forward to helping you in the future. Think of how far that goes in terms of deepening the relationship you have with that customer. I mean, they're thinking, wow, I'm being acknowledged after the fact. I've already paid the invoice, and the owner's replying to me, thanking me for my review and my business. Is that a customer that's going to continue to come back again and again and again? And if you paid whatever amount of money to acquire them in the first place through ads, Google ads, or SEO, or whatever it is, if you retain that customer and get more lifetime value out of them, it really just makes your business more profitable. Your marketing dollars go further, and at the end of the day, it's not all about just that, but it's, we all as business owners, we want to have customers that love doing business with us and are advocates for us. So this is just a really simple thing that I see missed often, where people or HVAC businesses are not replying to those positive reviews when it's actually an opportunity to really dig into those happy customers and really keep them around, increase their lifetime value, and just keep them happy. I mean, we're all trying to make an impact in our community, and that's a great way to do that. So that's really it for acknowledging and responding to every review. I want to take a moment, let's just pause one more time. And again, let's not just make this a session that we sit through and great ideas, but no action happens. Let's implement some action. So I want you to pick just one of those principles that you feel there's opportunity in your HVAC business for. This can be it can take some time to really implement all these principles, but the first step is the most important one. So just think about what you need to focus on. Is it really focusing on your company's culture and maybe gamifying the idea of getting reviews and celebrating techs, and giving them a gift card, giving the winner a gift card to the local steakhouse every month, or whatever it is. Maybe it's dialing in your review tools, or whatever it is. Lock that in, and I encourage you and challenge you, actually take that step this week and really start working from going from good to great when it comes to online reputation. So let's talk about strategies for driving consistent reviews, and we've covered some of these, but just to really drive this point home. So you really want to leverage tools to do the review requests after every service call. In a moment, we'll talk about how automation can play a part in making that happen. But at a bare minimum, you need to be using some tool. I bet everyone here has something. If not, there's a million tools out there for review requests. We can make recommendations, but pretty much all of them can get the job done. So just having that in place and doing it. Two, everyone should be leaving a printed review card to all their customers, quite frankly. I mean, I own a digital marketing agency for HVAC. I'm all on the digital side, but let's not sleep on some of the more traditional, card in hand to the customer. It's really powerful, and all these techniques can work in concert together. Three, train your techs to plant that seed, that the review is coming, and that they're being scored and reviewed on Google reviews to your customer. Planting that seed with the customer, and as well as making sure that they're delivering that world-class experience that you expect. Here's an extra credit item. This is really above and beyond, but you'll see how this helps. Make a call after the service and walk them through the review process. So if the seed's already been planted from your tech that they've asked for the review, and the email and the text message comes through as well, picking up the phone and actually calling them and just checking in. How was everything? And did you have any problems with the review link, or can I guide you through that process? I mean, think of how many more Google reviews and Yelp reviews and all reviews across the internet you'd be getting by doing that. It's a high touch item, there's no doubt. So maybe you just silo this off into maybe installs, or you can find a way, but this can be something to really move the needle fast. And 5, build reviews and recognition into your company culture. I would say if there's a takeaway from today, it's this. For this all to be successful, reviews and recognition have to be a part of your company's culture. And 6, leverage email, SMS, and apps. There are certain review tools that can tie directly into review apps for maximum impact. So right there, just really talking about the multi-channel aspect is really critical. We can't just rely on email, and we can't just rely on in person as well. So really hitting your customers from all angles. So let's jump into automation. So I referenced earlier how automation can be helpful to making sure that every one of your customers is receiving that review request after the job's done. I see that a fair amount of HVAC companies have the tool in place. Maybe they have a podium or whatnot, and they can send out the reviews. But what's happening is every couple of weeks or once a month, someone in the shop is having to go in and manually add customers, or let's send out these reviews because we finished these jobs within this past month. And what happens is when that's the case, ultimately other fires come up, or more important things, more urgent things come up, I should say, and it just doesn't get done. So most all of these great tools for review requests can be automated into your CRM. So I know a lot of us are using ServiceTitan, so I just reference that there, but Field Edge or whatever your CRM is, there's a good chance that you can automate your review requests with your CRM, which means when, for example, a customer pays their invoice, that's when the review request is sent. And this is just really the only way that you can ensure that every customer is getting a review request every time. So if you're not doing this, definitely invest a little bit of energy, a little bit of time into figuring out how you can automate your review tool with your CRM. It's really a game changer. I guarantee if you're not doing this, just this alone you'll see an increase in reviews. So that's really it on the review automation piece. Let's talk now about how to respond to every review. I kind of teased this a little bit earlier. This one's also, I think, pretty exciting, kind of overlooked for me. So, as we mentioned, make sure to have a system in place to ensure that every review gets tracked and measured. So we know what techs are generating them, how many you're getting each month. That in and of itself will definitely increase the review counts that you're getting. And I would say even go so far as to assign someone on your team with responding to the reviews. Sometimes what happens is there's just not one person that's designated for this task. And so multiple people that are maybe tied into the Google Business Profile, or also formerly known as Google My Business Profile, multiple people are seeing the reviews come through, but no one's actually in charge of replying to them. So it just doesn't happen. So go ahead and assign someone on your team that, hey, you're responsible for responding to all these reviews. And if you need help, then that's, you can ask for help, and it can be a team sport there, but you're ultimately responsible for this. And then here's an interesting one. So formulate a strategy for professionally addressing and dealing with negative reviews. Negative reviews, as I said, it's just the nature of the beast. Everyone has gotten them, and I promise you more are coming. And I would encourage you to have a system in place where maybe it is the owner that's calling the customer and seeing if you can manage this kind of on the side, seeing if you can make it right. Assuming that the ball was dropped, or people also have unrealistic expectations. But whatever it is, I can assure you, it's worth trying to get them to revise that review. And even if they sometimes go on and if they leave a 1-star review and then they go back and they'll say updated, April 26th, owner was, moving it to a 4-star, a 3-star, because, they reached out and tried to help. That's a better outcome. But one thing that I want to, like, sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes people are just unwilling to, not reasonable. Like, I'm sure no one here has ever experienced that, right? Someone that's just unreasonable, leaving a 1-star review because they're unhappy about something that is not a big deal. But I'm gonna try to change your perspective a little bit on this. Like, we're all really afraid of 1-star reviews, but it's my belief that I think in hard times, that's usually your best opportunity to shine and really show your true colors as a company. So again, let's go back to the example of me. I'm a prospective customer in your service area, and I'm trying to find a company to come service my system. And I'm looking through your reviews, and boom, there's a 1-star review. And it's one of those reviews that we've all seen them. You just know that it's someone that's just difficult, or they're complaining. It's just not a reasonable 1-star review. It's tempting as the business to almost retaliate to that and come back with a sassy, or some kind of smart response, because it hurts to get those 1-star reviews, because we all want to offer the best service possible. But if you'll just keep that prospective customer in mind that's reviewing your reviews, I think it's an opportunity for you as the business to go in and just leave a really classy, kind of take the higher road kind of response, and acknowledge that they've left the review, and just really kill them with kindness. And just from another perspective, like I mentioned, that prospective customer seeing that 1-star review and then seeing that you as the business have replied to it in really a classy, nice way, that may be the thing that pushes them over the edge and says, this company obviously deals in character and class, and I'm going to work with them. So sometimes those 1-star reviews can actually be an opportunity to really convert more people to your business. So I would challenge you to think a little more along those lines. So guys, that is the bulk of what we plan to cover. I've got some resources for you here, but first I just want to take one last pause and again challenge you to write down, what did you learn? What did you notice? What are you going to implement from what you've learned today? You should have plenty of takeaways, right? We went over 5 key principles. Number 1, continuing to focus on delivering world-class customer experience. Number 2, incorporating reviews into company culture. Number 3, make sure you're measuring and celebrating success when it comes to your online reviews. 4, leverage some of the best tools and automate them. The automation piece is key. And 5, acknowledge and respond to every review. So just pick one of those areas where you feel there's opportunity, write it down. And this week, before the end of day Friday, I want you to have implemented something, or had a conversation with the team, or done a review challenge for, we're almost in May. May could be the first review challenge you do with your team, where whoever gets the most reviews on the team gets whatever reward or gets whatever recognition. I'm dedicating this time to share these ideas with you guys, because I really want you to see improvement in your business and your online reputation. So in that spirit, we've got a couple of resources to share. Feel free to go to our website. We have a comprehensive online marketing checklist that's available to you that covers not only online reputation, but all sorts of different areas. You can go through with your team and check off what you are doing right, maybe where there's opportunity, and it can really give you an idea as to where you're at. We're in Q2, it's a good chance to reset, right, as things are picking up, and make sure that we're crossing all of our T's and dotting our I's. And then lastly, or actually two more things. So we do offer, for those that are really serious about taking action, a free HVAC marketing review, where basically we give you a report card of all different facets of your online marketing, and measuring your effectiveness to book jobs, get new customers all through the internet. That's something that we're offering to everyone that's on this webinar today. So you can reach us via the website, hvac-marketers.com, and schedule in right there. Or our phone number is also listed right there, 513-845-1675. And we'd love to chat. I really try to set these sessions up to where we're giving more than we're asking, and I really think that you guys should be able to run with these ideas and take it back to your team. But if you're the kind of person that's saying, I just want help and I want someone to do this for me, that's what we're here to do. So would love the chance to chat. Feel free to go to our website and schedule a session. But guys, otherwise, I really hope that this was a helpful session. I want to see each and every one of you improve your online reputation and go from good to great. And I look forward to seeing you on the next session. Take care, everybody. See ya.